I got to ask the interesting question. If Giannis, which would have been a better fit for Milwaukee if Giannis could have played with that 80s Bucks team or the 90s? Uh-ohs, you know. And when I say the 90s, uh-oh, I'm talking about either the Michael Redd to you get to Ray Allen, or we go back in the 80s when you had Marcus Johnson, Sidney Moncrief, Terry Cummings, Bob Lemire. Does he fit better? And then I have to take in consideration Isaiah Thomas thinks he would have been bad either way because he is considered the greatest Milwaukee Buck player ever. Charles Oakley said he would have been a bench player. Where do I stand? The way he came into the NBA, he'd have had problems in the 80s. You know, he would have been what I call a double deluxe broke Buck Williams. So a double Junior Whopper broke Buck Williams because he didn't really have a shot. He had a power of bumping, but he took him a while to get his thing. So would he been like a muscle bound player like the Davis guys, like Dale Davis and them, Antonio Davis, where he was physical, but he wasn't much of a scorer because that wasn't his strong suit when he came in. That took time, free throws, making shots, etc. You know, you even had James Harden saying he was a 7-foot bowling ball that just rolled over. They didn't respect his actual game. So thinking about two-time MVP, world champion in league, a finals MVP, and a defensive player of the year. So his resume. But where would it have fit? Would Giannis have worked better in the 80s or the 90s? Well, the 90s style would have been interesting because he was more, you know, if you had Glenn Big Dog Robinson and you have Vin Baker, would he have fit better? I think from a statistical perspective, the 90s would have loaned him better. The 80s, he would have had chance to grow into something. But I don't know if he would have been able to jump on it as quick as he was in the past decade because the game has changed so much and then you pick up as you get to work on the job. It was tough. It was tough. You remember guys who came directly from high school, like either Kobe, Kevin Garnett, and we talk about Jermaine O'Neal. They had to get their thing polished up to get even better. T Mac did too. So when I remember watching Giannis, he wasn't as deeply as he became to be. So would it have been different had he come? Yeah, I think it would have been a bit different. I think it would have been a little bit different. I think it would have been a bit uh more precision where you had to come and bring it. So I think that if Giannis played for Milwaukee in the 80s or 90s, where would he thrive? That's the question. I think 90s era, because he'd have had, it was a different hit, but he would have had to learn how to shoot that rock, though. You know, in the 80s, he'd been like